High praise from Pep Guardiola for Roberto De Zerbi. And Robbie, what did you make of what he said there? One of the most influential managers in the last 20 years in the game.
Well, sometimes Pep stretches things, and I understand what he's trying to say, but I do agree with what he's saying. The impact that he's made on football and the speed of the impact are the two most impressive things. And I'm just thinking, if you were a Brighton fan, you know, go back to last season, 9th place finish, playing lovely possession football under Graham Potter. You're living probably your best life. And then Potter ends up going to Chelsea. You get De Zerbi in, and we get De Zerbi ball. Now, Potter ball's about possession, but not really the goals. De Zerbi ball's about possession, but getting the goals as well. A stat I've been told, Rebecca, is that this team, Brighton, have had more shots than any team in the Premier League. That includes Manchester City. It's an incredible stat for a team that play in a unique style. And just to try and explain the style a little bit, it's almost the highest risk of football we've seen, but he's got the highest reward coming out of it. And that's because they play from the back, with the goalkeeper being an integral part of that, and they're basically baiting the opposition onto them, like, come and get the ball. And then what he's done cleverly is almost like giving 3 options to his team. Option 1, if they do this, we'll do that. Option 2, if they do this, we'll do that. And then he's given a 3rd option. And because it's almost quite simple and works that way, and the players have bought into it, we're seeing the results, we're seeing the goals, we're seeing the possession. They've had one bad day against Everton when they didn't press and weren't really at the races. Apart from that, it's been so impressive.
This style is unique, and we haven't seen it. So let's talk about it, Robbie. When they bait the opposition to try and come and get their ball, the ball off them, and then they release it, and then they break that, is that something that any player can do, any team can do? Or did De Zerbi, when he was offered this job, look at this squad and go, can this... Yep, this squad can do it, I'll go there.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and it's a great question, because I think that it sums up the Brighton kind of recruitment process. They knew that he would be able to coach this style, and vice versa as well. I think the technicality of the players is really, really helping. They've got a lot of sneaky, very, very good footballers at Brighton. They just really have. And I think with him going there now, change of goalkeeper, Jason Steele, the 2 centre-backs and Jason Steele literally put their foot on the ball. And it's like Robbie says, they tease people in because it's creating space, Rebecca. If a player rushes the goalkeeper, thanks, you've done what I want you to do, knocks it by him, he's then out of the game. So they continue that through midfield, wait for people to come in and then pass around them, then they can get through and then they get space going forward. That being said, I went back and watched the Arsenal second half. It was so good from Brighton. I watched it this morning. They're not afraid to hit longer balls too. And Levi Colwill, the player on loan from Chelsea, central defender, left foot, hits lovely balls up as well. So, as Robbie says, there's a plan. So if they go crazy high press, they won't always 100% do it. They know that they've got, OK, here's the time when I go clip it up to Evan Ferguson or Danny Welbeck, and we have other ways of doing it as well. I absolutely adore that style of football. That's just me. I like that kind of possession and a thinking manager, and I've just enjoyed every bit of him.
Is it the style of football that a Big Six club would want? Therefore, is De Zerbi going to get an offer at some point from a Big Six?
I mean, Pep's almost saying, like, when I'm gone, here's your guy, Rebecca. He takes it to another level. Think of doing this with higher quality players and what that can do. And there was a great story that's gone around on social media about Jason Steele talking about, actually, he talked us through a goal in training, like, we'll do this, this and this, the opposition will do that, that and that, and we'll get the ball into there, or go in and we'll score. And apparently, like, it happened in a game. That's when you get belief. That's when you get a coach who you know has absolutely got his finger on the button.
Just real quick, I just wonder if a Big Six club right now, he's a very emotional guy. Yeah. It's just whether some clubs might not want to take the fiery Italian on the sideline. That's, I mean, no problem with me, but I'm just trying to think of other reasons why other clubs might not take him.
Spurs had a fiery Italian, but he couldn't win anything. This guy might, and he'll play better football.
De Zerbi does say, though, that he wants to stay at least for another year at Brighton. Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.